therapy at the wall is the difference between working a curved line or working a straight line, or a curved angle versus kind of a 90-degree angle, a square angle. So it's not a matter of one is good and one is bad. It's really just a matter of understanding the difference in how it feels in your body, what it does to your body, whether you're working a sharp angle or you're creating a curve, and then being able to have the body awareness to feel the difference between the two and make the shape that you really want to make based on what you're trying to get out of it. So I'll give you 4 different examples of the different planes of the body. We're breaking it up into those major movement planes. So the first plane of movement we're going to look at is the coronal plane, where side bending happens. So if I'm trying to do my lunge at the wall with the arms up, which is a really nice lengthening pose, I'm trying to keep the reach even on the left and the right side of my body. But then if I want to go from this very straight, squared off position to a little bit of a curve here, I can move the hands over to the side. I can even step the foot to the side, which feels really good on the hip. Very similar pose, but now I'm working on this curved line on the coronal plane instead of this very straight linear pose. So on the sagittal plane, we have flexion and extension. And we can look at this in terms of the straight and the curve. So if I'm going to do a warrior 3 at the wall, I'm going to judge my distance right there. Okay, so I'm going to square off like that. Very lined up, sharp angles at the joints. Or I can start to slide the leg up higher, lift through the chest, lift through the arms. Very different experience in the pose, working on that curve on the sagittal plane. So now we can go into flexion, into the opposite direction, and I'm going to show you that through a plank at the wall. Okay, so heels are on the wall, toes have a really nice extension to them, and I'm going to start with like a really squared off straight line plank, tummy tight, everything lined up. Or I can start to draw in and create this very curved line, lifting up through the front of the body, creating some spine movement on the sagittal plane. You could also explore that in the opposite direction, into extension. But if your intention is to create a very straight line plank, sharp angle at the shoulder joint, you want to be able to feel that, and you want to be able to have the body control to make that shape. If you want to then bow the angle and go into flexion or extension, you want to be able to do that as well. So this concept is just about awareness and how to adjust. All right, so the final one that I'm going to show you on the transverse plane, I'm going to start with table at the wall, and transverse plane is rotation. So if I take one arm up and reach it forward, I'm trying to keep my shoulders lined up. So that's the straight line, that's the squared version of the pose. Or if I want to start to create some rotation on the transverse plane, I can open up the shoulders, lifting on one side. Or if I come back to center, maybe if I didn't have a lot of stability in my upper back and I was having trouble with preventing rotation that I didn't want, you might start to see this kind of sagging into the pose. There's rotation, but I don't have the strength to counteract gravity to find that squared shape. So, straight pose, open, maybe a tuck under, or sagging the shoulders so that there's rotation. Okay, so that's our demonstration of working on squaring off our angles and creating straight lines versus creating these really nice smooth curved lines, and how to feel the difference between that on each of the major planes of movement.